Hey guys, it's been like almost a month, probably 3.5 weeks. And that's okay because guess what we have to do right now? Not be afraid to take time for ourselves. So that's exactly what I've been doing, kind of by default, but in the same breath, I can feel that. Like, I feel like this intense urge to do things, and then this intense urge to just rest and integrate and all those kinds of things with it. So, no pressure, guys. I'm not putting pressure on myself to be out here making videos, and you should be putting pressure on yourself either. Just go with the flow of the energies because they're really asking us to heal, right? They're really asking us to step up into this higher version of who we really are. And if we feel like we're drowning in emotions or drowning in a scenario or all the distractions, we just got to take a step back and center ourselves. It's not easy staying grounded right now. That's why I've been immersing myself outside. A lot of my time has been spent outside. You can even see I've got a little sunburn still lingering from a couple days ago. We had a huge tree fall in our yard. It was dead. We were going to cut it down anyways, but Mother Nature took care of it for us. So we spent Sunday getting all the firewood stacked and chopped up and everything like that. But anyways, the point I'm trying to make is just being grounded right now and in nature, or whatever way that you know how to ground. Eat those root vegetables, potatoes, beets, whatever it is that sings to you in terms of being grounded, working out, even just sitting outside, even if it's cold still where you're at, just getting your face all bundled up in a coat in your face in the sun and just sitting there and absorbing it is just everything. Lately, this in the mornings, the sun has been comes up through my window. So it literally beams down on my bed as soon as it rises. And I'll just like lay on my bed and let the sun beam on my face and try to take deep breaths and, just like take advantage of those things in your environment that are right there that you could, use to be present with, to, do some breathing exercise, whatever you can do. If you can find a window and that's your way of connecting with nature, do what you got to do, because those little moments and those quiet, peaceful moments of connection are crucial right now. They're completely crucial right now. And I've noticed that in myself. I've also been gone for a bit because my kids got me sick, but that only lasted maybe like a few days. And I was back outside, and all I want to do is go outside. Even right now, I want to be outside, but at the same time, I have had this message coming through for about a week and a half now. And if I don't get it, I feel like Spirit's not going to stop whispering this phrase into my ear, which was in a New York minute. So last week, I kept hearing in my ear, in a New York minute, in a New York minute. I was like, I've heard that phrase. I think it just means really fast, right? So I'm just like assuming something. And then I kind of let it go. I didn't look anything up. I was just like, going about my business as a mom, doing my daily thing, trying to get things done. So I wasn't paying much attention to it. And then it's like the next day and the next day and the next day, the same phrase being whispered in my ear. I was like, okay, let's see what this means. See what you're trying to tell us, Spirit, So I look up in a New York minute, and the first thing that comes up is this song. And I guess there's a couple songs named that, but the first one that popped up is the one I'm going with because I feel like that's what Spirit's guiding me to, and I just follow that, right? We got to learn how to follow all the little breadcrumbs and the trails and really sink into what Spirit is trying to show us. So I look up this song from 1989 by a guy named Henley. I've probably heard it before because it seems like it was like a popular song at the time. So I was like, well, I need to hear this. I'm going to look up the lyrics, but I need to hear it before I come on and talk about this phrase. I feel like I need to dig deeper, like I'm just being pulled to. So I first I looked up the lyrics, and then I YouTubed the song so I could listen to it. So the lyrics were like, whoa, like, okay, now I'm kind of starting to understand what Spirit wanted me to talk about. But then when I looked up the video, it wasn't the original 1989 video. It was the song, and then in the background was clips of videos from 9/11, all the firefighters, people running with dust all over them through the city. It was like the entire video was basically the rescue effort of 9/11. And I'm like, interesting. Okay, so that's what the video is. And I'm going to read a few of the lyrics to you. It says, Harry got up, dressed all in black, went down to the station, and he never came back. They found his clothing scattered somewhere down the track, and he won't be down to Wall Street in the morning. I'm not going to read every single line of the song, but the things that are relevant. So the chorus, in a New York minute, everything can change. In a New York minute, things can get pretty strange. In a New York minute, everything can change. In a New York minute, you can get out of the rain. And in these days when darkness falls early and people rush home to the ones they love, you better take a fool's advice and take care of your own. One day they're here, next day they're gone. In a New York minute, everything can change. And that was just a little bit of the lyrics of the song. But I was like, oh my God, like I knew a New York minute meant like quickly, right? So I just look it up just to be sure, you know. My assumption was it just means fast. That's what I always thought it meant. I look it up, it says in a very short period of time, in an instant. And as soon as I read in an instant, Spirit's like in a flash. And I was like, oh shit. Like in a New York minute, like what are you trying to say? Like the flash is coming soon. You know, be thankful and grateful for who you have in your life and cherish them right now, because it's like there's things I want to say on my video, but I've gotten away from talking about what happened in 2020, the health epidemic or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Like I've gotten away from that because I felt like at the time we were doing our jobs, speaking out the truth against, you know, everybody on my channel has already like been in my flow in terms of like our perspective on what's going on in the world, right? So at the time it was like it felt right to speak out against it because people still like they hadn't even distributed, you know, the chemicals and stuff yet. So like people had that opportunity to make their free will choice and what they were going to do. So it felt right to talk about it then. Now it doesn't feel right because it's like everyone's kind of made their choice. So you either did or you did or you didn't. And if you did it, maybe you regret it. If you did, maybe you didn't regret it. But what's the point of triggering you? Because it's what's done is done. That's how I've been looking at it lately. And it's really been like little things will come up on Instagram or something and I want to share it. And I haven't shared anything like that because it feels like that is done. Like we're shifting in a new space. We're into creative energy so we can bring in new earth. You know, yeah, did those things happen? Yeah. Are we going to see the effects of it? Yeah, we already are. You know what I mean? And it's not fun. It's not fun to be right about this. It's not fun. Not that I'm sitting here like, oh, I'm so right. It's just like the proof is in the pudding. We literally have lost people in our family and friends and are still. And, you know, I pray we don't have a world full of disabled people who have neurological issues and stuff like that, or however it pans out. But it's like I get messages like this and it's like, how can you like stay off certain topics? How can you... And sometimes it's okay to just express yourself about it. I feel like a lot of people, you know, we're going to be going through not just people who made that decision to get injected or whatever. We are going to be going through the repercussions of that just as much as they are. And I think that's what this song really reflects. It's just like hug tightly your friends and family and everybody that you have right now, because you don't know what's going to happen. Like in a New York minute, everything can change, just like the song said, you know. And I've been so hesitant to come on and even share this message because I don't want to be that person who's like, look out for the solar flash, and been talking about it for years. And, you know, we've been seeing the increase in the sun's activity. I was just listening to somebody, maybe it was Pam Gregory, the astrologer, talk about, it might not have been her, so don't hold me to that, but just talk about how the increasing, like how back in like 2018, 2019, you almost never even saw like an M-class flare. And now we're in 2023 and we've already seen 2 or 3 X-class flares just since the beginning of the year. We just are getting into April. Like literally back 4 or 5 years ago, that's insane. But now it's just like a regular thing. And what is it doing? It's warming us up to this bigger energetic event, if you want to call it that, or whatever it is. Maybe it's not one big event, but like it's when I get messages like this that I wonder, maybe it is. Like, I don't know. I'm always that person that brings in that Libra of balance, that devil's advocate. Like, here's this side, but here's also this side and this perspective. And it's very important not to get attached to any type of outcome with anything, because, nothing really ever unfolds exactly the way we think it's going to. So if we stay present and stop trying to predict the future, that's a much higher frequency. In that presence, we can tap into our creativity. We can tap into, these higher spaces of consciousness, and we won't be worrying about things or trying to control the future or trying to control anything in our lives. We'll just be in that, what's the word I'm looking for? That easiness, the easiness of about life, allowing life to be easy for you. Because I think a lot of times we don't allow life to be easy for us because we're so concerned and worried and caught up in stories that we're telling about our life and caught up in drama that we've created with people in our lives, whether that's family, friends, and relationships. Like, that's nothing but a distraction to keep you from your creative energy connected to source in order to step in and be a part of this creation in new earth. And it doesn't have to look like some big thing. And I always say that, but it's about showing up as the best version of yourself. So what is that? And it's probably going to look pretty awesome when we can really release and let go of a lot of these distractions that even if it's like technology and social media or Netflix or friendships where you feel like you owe somebody your time. You feel like you have to go get a drink with this person if they ask you. You have to pick up the phone every single time. And that's not the case. The number one priority is your vibrational frequency, how you feel in any given moment. And you create those moments. You get to decide what boundaries you put up with people in your life or a job that isn't making you happy, and what actions and steps are we going to take in the direction of what's the best for us? Because ultimately, when we're filling our own cup and it starts overflowing, that's when we're able to, really shine our light to where, people look at you and they're like, dang, like, I want to be happy like that. Like, I want to, be healthy like that. That's what shining the light is. It's not running around knocking on doors or blowing up people's social media like a Jehovah's Witness. It's really about being the best version of you. And then people see that and they're like, damn, like, maybe I should quit drinking too. Or maybe I should leave, that relationship that's not fulfilling. Or maybe I should leave this job that brings me so much stress, I can barely stand it. Or takes up so much of my time that I don't even have the minutes in a day to give myself that self-care or to give my kids the time that they deserve and love that they deserve, or my spouse, or whatever it is. And also being careful not to overgive and to deplete yourself. Make sure your self-care is such a top priority that like I said, your cup is overflowing. So that way, when you flow into others, you don't get depleted because you've been taking care of yourself the whole time. Mind, body, spirit. And I used to always have some type of sugary cookie or chocolate. And I've, over the years, gradually, and now I'm just like, gradually let go of it. And now I'm to the point where it's like, there's almost none of it in the house and it's not there. And the first couple weeks, I was just like going crazy. And now I'm just like, ooh, like, I don't even want it. I feel like it might hurt my stomach. You know what I mean? So when we step into these higher versions of ourselves and we really hold ourselves accountable and don't allow others to tell us how we should live or make us feel guilty because we're not doing, like, hanging out. Maybe you hung out with your friend every Wednesday, you did lunch or something, and now you've decided that, maybe every single Wednesday is a little bit too much, and you tell your friend and they get offended, right? So how do you handle that situation, setting that boundary, right? And those are just like little scenarios where we can like take our own power back and not allowing somebody to make decisions for us. Even the people we love, like parents do that a lot. Even mothers, like older mothers who have adult children, they are like the queens of guilting. Not every mother, but like I've seen it so many times where, you know, especially a father or a son and a mother, like when the son gets older and he still has kind of this attachment to his mother and this obligatory like energy towards her. And then, you know, if he tries to set that boundary, then she makes him feel bad for it or something. Like I've seen that more in men than I have women, but I'll be honest, I don't have a lot of female friends. I'm actually don't have a lot of friends in general. I'm just to myself for the most part. I have 4 kids, so I'm just like taking care of them. But I see this in so many people where they allow others to guilt them, and like especially around the holidays and stuff, right? Like for instance, my parents were divorced, and then so my brother's married, and then I used to be married, and it was just like always like the holiday, the exact day, Christmas or Thanksgiving, like whose house is everyone going to, and how long are they going to be there, and who gets the main time, and you know, it's just like me and my brother, we used to like be like, oh my God, I can't people please everyone. Like, so we started, you know, just like learning different ways to do it, and then setting like firm boundaries. Like, look, this is how I got to do it. I'm not going to feel bad for it. Like I'll literally say that out loud to the person, because sometimes you have to be so forward. If you're not forward enough, it's like they're not going to respect the boundary. They're going to keep crossing the boundary. This can be in relationships or anything. I'm just using like a different example because I always use like romantic relationship examples, but family is just as much. I wasn't like super crazy close to my family. I love them, but I lived away from them for so long, they're kind of just used to it. So I don't go through a lot of these issues with personally, but I see a lot of people go through this. So I feel like it's so relevant right now to speak on things that we have to let go of, or how to set boundaries, or ways to open up space for more light to come in, for you to anchor more light in order to be that best version of yourself, in order to come into that creative space. Most people who aren't in that creative space yet are like, what am I supposed to be doing? What this and that and this and that? It's because they're distracted. It's because they're holding on to things that don't serve them. Does this serve my highest good? Ask the question, any scenario, anything. It could be food, nutrition, exercise, addictions, relationships, jobs, where you live, whatever it is. Check yourself and check in that area and ask yourself, what is of the highest good for me? And ask your higher self. Really get connected. Don't constantly be out there looking for somebody to give you the answers. Because I promise you, at the end of the day, the most clearest, concise answer that you're ever going to get is from inside of you. And you just have to get to that level of self-love where you actually believe yourself. You actually believe that love and all those little ideas and sparks and epiphanies, you have to believe those. You have to be like, you know, that can come from me. Like, I am that powerful. I am connected to the divine. I am an aspect of God. Therefore, I can expand infinitely. So there's nothing, literally nothing I cannot do. And it's like really revving up that power within yourself and that energy within yourself, doing whatever it is that you do. I'm not going to sit here and say, this is the play-by-play, what you got to do to get there. You know what it is for you. I know what it is for me. I can share a couple things I do, but it might not resonate with you, right? And some things you do might not resonate with me, because we're all working with a different avatar. We're all coming from different, like we are born into different DNA lineages that we came to clear. So there is no one size fits all. This really is you going into you and figuring out what is for you. That's what is expanding source because it's unique. If everybody was just doing the one same play-by-play, how would that be expansive? Because it's not unique. It's just the same thing. So you're just expanding in the same way. That's not really expansion. It's just doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result or expecting expansion. But really, the only way to expand is to go inside. So you know who you are, who as a unique aspect of source. Because literally, that's why we're here, to be the most unique aspect of who we are. That's how we become diverse. That's how we become this beautiful, cohesive unit that anchors in new earth. You're sovereign. You're sure about yourself. You're sure about like wanting to be in this space of love and wanting to be present and doing what you love for a living and all of and sharing energy and space and time with those who feed you, not those who drain you, those who bring you peace, not those who bring you pain. That is what we came here for, to really understand and respect ourselves to the point where we can be present, we can be in peace. We don't have to be concerned about too much of anything because we're in a knowingness. It's beyond faith. It's a knowingness that who we are is what we choose to express. It's what we choose to embody. It's the frequency we choose to walk in. And that's what I wanted to bring through today, guys. You guys can take what you want with this message that I got in the New York Minute in a flash. You can take what you want. I'm just telling you what Spirit told me. I'm not going to sit here and get overly excited about anything because honestly, in a sense, it's kind of sad. A lot of it's kind of sad, but in the same, it's like sad because the old world got to break down, and sometimes people you fucking love are breaking down with it, and that's just the facts. We're seeing it. That's not just me saying it. We literally are seeing it. But as that breaks down, it's like so exciting and beautiful at the same time because we're building this new. And if we can really, I think, get into this space of acceptance, but just open our hearts, like we don't need to sit here and be like, this is the truth of what's going on anymore. Everybody knows, okay? And they can decide how they want to feel about it or how they want to think about it. Our job is just to sit here with an open heart, create new earth, and hold space for the grief, hold space for anyone who's going through it while this whole thing's breaking down. Hold that space. You don't even have to sit there and hold their hand or have a conversation with them. Holding that frequency is enough. And you know what really elevates your frequency and expansion? Getting out to nature, creating, like being self-sufficient, becoming a sovereign being, asking, how can I help? Right? Making sure your cup overfills so you're able to do all those things and it's not draining you. That means you're taking that time for self-care. We know all these things, but sometimes we need reminded. I need reminded all the time. We're always expanding and growing. And as long as we can acknowledge that and take accountability and be willing to do new things and expand in new ways and hold space for those who are choosing not to, we're good. So, moral of the story, be the calm in the storm. I feel like this video of 9/11 and just like literally the video was straight up the worst of the time of it happening right after the towers fell. And it's just chaos everywhere. That is what I was just shown. So how can we anchor in the light, be the calm in the storm, and bring some peace to the chaos that has already started and is going to continue? So yeah, guys, that's what I had to bring through for today. And I love you, and hang in there. Like, I know it's not easy right now. Pluto going into Aquarius and asking basically all these old shitty systems to just be done. We got something new coming in, and that's just what's happening, period. It's complete reformation, complete reformation, and we have to bring in these communities in order to be a part of that, because it's going to be way more community based, and it's going to be us creating them. And you can start in your own backyard or on your wherever you can get space, right? Or volunteer somewhere. Anyways, I'm going off on another rant, but I love you guys. And yeah, hang in there. I know it's not easy right now. I know it's not. We have good days, we have bad days. So just like become a master of your own self-care. If you become a master of your own self-care, then you're able, and you can see yourself when you're and check yourself when you slip, when you start slipping up in whatever area that is, you're fine. And don't be hard on yourself. All right? I love you.